It's not like Nigeria where, oh, you bought a fan, you want to fix common fan, you go and call Emeka from the next shop to come and fix it. You give him 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 naira for fixing it for you. It's not the same here. Over here, you have to learn DIY. You do it yourself. Okay? There's a lot. The system is not set up to make you as an international student or as a foreigner to succeed here. My sister, your dependents are not allowed to work in the US. There are a lot of things that, you know, sometimes when you're desperate to leave Nigeria, you don't think about, right? There's a reason why people go to UK and not the US. I remember the first day I woke up, the first thing I saw on my phone was take cover, move away from the window, enter into a closet, lock yourself up in the bathroom. What is going on? Gone. Many people have mental issues here. It's a big thing. Alright, hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ayodele. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. For a returning subscriber, you know I love you, you know I appreciate you so much. Thank you for always coming back. I don't know why I still have this in my ears. Okay, so I just finished filming with Yemi and it was a very interesting video. We talked a lot about the insecurities we have struggled with, you know, growing up, you know, bedwetting, not being pretty enough, not being intelligent enough, not being, you know, we talked about a lot. Okay guys, this video is already up on our channel. If you're watching this on a Sunday, it means the video came up on Saturday, so please go and watch that video after you watch this video. Okay, it was a very interesting video. Like I finished and I'm like, oh my god, it's a very interesting video. You will know when you watch it. Okay, anyways guys, so today someone actually requested for this video and that's why I am doing it. Okay, so I got a request from someone, but before we go ahead, right, you guys know how we do it here. I always give a shout out to someone who made an insightful comment to my last video. Many of you actually made good comments on my last video, okay, and because your favorite was there, because Mr. Fash was there. Anyways, thank you guys for watching and for your lovely comments. So the person I'm shouting out today is to Sandra Ezeji Anyele. Okay, Sandra, thank you so much. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. If not, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for your comment. You know, she talked about how an experience, because that video we talked about, you know, infidelity in long distance marriage, and she also shared about her own experiences and, you know, yeah, in a long distance marriage. And yeah, thank you so much for your comments. Okay, so in this particular video I'll be sharing my regrets, so to speak, and you know the good and the bad things that I have experienced in the US, my regrets since I came here, and my happiness and the otherwise, okay, since I moved to the United States. So someone actually requested for this video on my DMs. I can't go and get that now, but yeah, I have been skeptical about making this video because, again, my experience is not everyone's experience. Okay, there are people who come here and have, you know, better experiences than I did, and there are others who come and have worse experiences. Again, everyone is entitled to their own experience. It doesn't mean that if you come here you experience the same thing I experienced, and it doesn't mean also that, you know, you wouldn't. Okay, this is just something that, this is just the US from my own lens since I came here. Okay, so let's get right into it. I'll start from the good things that I have experienced since I came here, and the first thing I have here is infrastructure. Okay, I remember the first day I came to the US and I wanted to upload a video, and you know, normally because I am so used to slow internet in Nigeria, when I started to upload the video, I automatically, okay, so I was supposed to upload the video, you know, whilst I was doing my assignments, but I said, oh, don't worry, I will upload it overnight so that when I wake up the video would have gone. Okay, I forgot, because I've been to the US before, I forgot that the Nigerian internet is not the same as the internet here in the US. So I did that, and when I was ready to sleep, I started to upload the video, and before I stood up from my chair, the video was done. I was shook. I was like, oh my god, we've been so used to having bad infrastructures, bad economic situations, that at a point it becomes a reality, it becomes like a normal for us, and I didn't realize how much that had become a normal for me. Also, when it comes to the roads, you know, the roads are really good, at least where I stay. It's not the same everywhere in the US, so, you know, just so you know, there are places that are ghetto. Okay, every country has their ghetto side, but for the most of it, okay, especially where I stay, it's good. Transportation is really good, right? I mean, it's not as you see, that's the thing. There's good and bad sides to it. If you live in New York, for instance, I lived in New York, you get transportation everywhere you go to. After every block, there are buses, there are subways. Good, okay. However, when you live in other places that is not the New York or DC or California, I think, that don't have a good railway system, you have to walk with the bus. So if you miss your bus time, my dear, yeah, you all know, okay. But in the city where I live in Virginia, in Harrisonburg specifically, we don't pay for transportation. Anywhere you're going to, the bus is free, okay. So we take the bus free, right? In other places you pay, maybe you buy your bus ticket and stuff like that, but you have good transportation system over here. And then healthcare, I remember the first day I went to the hospital, guys, it's different, okay. Yes, they have their own issues, but trust me, it is so good, right? The moment I stepped in, the reception is good, and then meeting with the nurse, they were so friendly, telling you, you know, as they're doing it, they're telling you what they're about to do, asking for permission. Can I do this? Do you mind if I do this? And stuff like that. And then you meet with the doctor, who does not just give you hypertension for nothing. He actually sits you down, read your results with you, read your test with you, read your scans with you, tells you exactly what each things mean and the implication of each, you know, of everything, you know, all the tests that has been run, what you need to do, where you need to go to. And then you get home, you already have an email to tell you to go to this pharmacy to pick up your prescription, the pharmacy you chose when you got in, to, you know, to that is closest to you. You go there, you show them, you tell them the number, they literally check it and give you your drugs. There is no hassle, no, you know, dealing with, you know, rude doctors or rude nurses and stuff like that. Everything is so seamless, you know, here. The infrastructures I remember when I went to do a checkup, and you could see like everything, the scan, there's one on the ceiling, there's one, you know, right there, you know, the nurse is literally telling you what is happening, this is your this is your that, and stuff like that. You can see everything. In Nigeria, the machine is always facing the doctor as if even though, yes, I can't read what is there, but they will tell you this is this, this is that, and stuff like that, and which is actually very good, okay. And then they take you to a doctor who actually explains things to you and break things down. So yes, healthcare is fantastic here, okay. The infrastructures, the things they have, amazing. And again, it's not the doctor that is the general doctor, that is the gynecologist, that is the dentist or optician or stuff like that. You know, they have specialties, okay. So when you need to go to a gynae, you go to a hospital that is just for gynecologists. When you need to see an OB, you go there. When you need to see an optician, there is that is only optician they do. Yes, they have hospitals where they have general practices, but you know, everyone has their specialties and they're good at what they do, okay. The only problem also with the healthcare system is it's very, very expensive. So if you don't have insurance, I am sorry for you, okay. I always tell people, as an international student, don't ever make the mistake, if you can, unless it's an emergency situation. I know when we are in Nigeria, we see a lot of, oh, dial 911, the ambulance will come. The money you will pay for an ambulance, please, I beg you, if you can make it to the hospital, make it, because by the time you are done, you will wish the sickness, God forbid. But it is very, very expensive. And also there are urgent cares here where if you need urgent care, maybe you have malaria or whatever, you can walk to the urgent care. There are doctor's office, what they call it, primary center, whatever, I can't remember the name, where you can go to see specialists and stuff like that. You only go to the emergency room if it is an emergency. If you go to emergency room for body pain, headache, the money you will pay, when they will give you aspirin that you will get for $10, when they will send bill of $3,000 to you, emergency ER is not for any non-emergency cases, okay, because they are very extremely expensive. Anyway, so yes, healthcare system is good. There is a system to it. If you follow the system, you'll be good, okay. All right, the next thing that I have here is people mind their business, okay. And this can be a good or a bad thing, okay. But here, in some cases, it can be a good thing. Like in Nigeria, for instance, I really find it awkward sometimes to record do vlogs outside because Nigerians can be rude, and yeah. But here, people usually mind their business. They don't really care about you, right? So you can live your life however you want, if that is, you know, yeah. Anyways, people mind their business here, and like I said, it can be a good thing or a bad thing because it takes away empathy, it takes away, you know, caring about your neighbor, knowing what your neighbor is doing and stuff like that. But really, we are getting to that in Nigeria also, because economic situation, people don't have time to check in on each other, but that's not the subject of this video. So yes, people do mind their business. It's an easygoing place. Like, there is no hurry. Everywhere there's a pace to it, especially if you don't live in somewhere out there like New York, like New Jersey. Sorry, is it New Jersey? Not even New Jersey is even calmer. I mean California and stuff like that. Even in those places, there are places. I remember when I was in New York and we went to New York State. It's a very easy place, right? But even in the madness of New York, there's still a method to it. I remember when I was in New York, you know, when you're walking on the subway, you cannot walk on your left. You always walk on your right. You understand? When you open the door, you always leave the door open for the next person. There is a system to the madness. It is not like our own madness in Nigeria. There is no system to it. It's just anyhow. Anyway, so yes, there's a system. People are calmer here, you know. People really do mind their business. Okay, anyways, the next thing that I have here is you get to experience different cultures, because a lot of people from different countries come to the US, right? So in my class, we have people from Rwanda, we have people from Kenya, we have people from the US, we have people from different parts of the world. Okay, you will literally find people from different parts of the world, from Kosovo, from what's this girl from where's Janisha from? You have people from this country is in my head, India, that country near India. Anyways, you have people from everywhere around the world. You get to experience different cultures, you meet different people, and I think that's one of the things I really loved, especially when I was in New York, because New York is like a hub for immigrants, right? So you find many people from different walks of life, different environments, and they share. Many of the nice friends that I made the last time I was here and the ones I have now, they are not Nigerians. Many of them are from different parts of the world, and it's really exciting to learn about people's culture, about how they do things there and why they think, how they think differently. Before I came to the US the first time, I usually think, or I thought that all of us Africans, we eat the same thing. We to some level, we do things the same way, but I realized that, oh my god, we are actually very different. So anyways, you get to learn, and then you get to experience different weather. Yes, in Nigeria, it's either rainy season or dry season. It's either rainy season or dry season, and you don't get to experience a lot of changes. But here there is summer, winter, spring, fall. You get to experience different kind of weather, and your body reacts to it differently. Okay, so if you're like me that I don't like cold, now it's extremely cold in Virginia, but I am not in Virginia. Some of you may have noticed by the video, the background of my videos. Anyway, so yeah, I'm in Texas now, and it's warmer here, and I love it here. Okay, but I have to go back soon anyway. So yeah, it is what was I saying? You experience different things, different weather, different culture, different people, different food. If you are adventurous with food, I am not, but I try. Okay, I try my best. My very best. Anyways, and then in school too, schooling here is really good. I mean, the professors is actually, when you're schooling in a place that they actually do not want you to fail, like they do everything within their power to make sure that you don't fail. If you fail here, it's because you really deserve to fail, especially if you have, because most of the professors here, they are really good, especially the ones that I have had classes with. Like, bro, when they finish telling you all the things I didn't do wrong and they still give you A, you'll be like, what's going on here? Anyways, they're actually invested in getting you to succeed, right? To make you pass. That is what they are here for, especially if you're in grad school. Okay, because they believe that if you're a graduate student, you already have passed through, what's are they calling it? Bachelor's degree. You should know what you're doing. So right now, it's not about failing you, it's about correcting you, showing you the proper way of doing things. So yeah, I think I really do enjoy my classes here. And then you get to actually talk. Okay, your voice can be heard, not like in some place that I will not mention. Okay, when you're in school, when you're in class, your lecturer actually wants to learn from you. They're asking you to share your experiences. So normally, I think I shared one of my typical day in class with you guys in one of the first vlog I did when I just came. You can go and watch that video. Typically we come to class during the week. They've told us, giving us books. You read a lot. Sit down, you will read. Especially if you're in grad school. So they've given us tons of things to read. So you come to class and we just discuss throughout the entire 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours of class. We're just talking, interacting, talking with each other. What do you think? How does it relate to you? How does it relate to where you're coming from? Class is always interesting. I love attending class. I actually do love attending class. when I was schooling in Nigeria, the reverse was the case, okay, because they make it so interesting, they make learning so interesting, and then the environment is good. You have good light, you have good seats, not the one that you will sit and your bum is paining you, good chairs, good, you know, really really nice, especially my school. Maybe one day I'll do a tour around my school. It's really great, okay. Yeah, and then there are good career opportunities here also. There's a downside to it, okay, but if it's opportunities you're looking for, if you're able to get your papers and get the right permits to work here, there are really good great opportunities for you to work. Really great career opportunities here. There are a lot of things that you cannot be in Nigeria. You want to be an astronaut, we're in Nigeria. I pray that something will get there, but it's not a thing there. You want to be an aeronautic engineer, there are people who do that there, but here you actually are valued for your work, okay. You want to be a nurse, a doctor, they value you for the work that you do. Yes, they have their own issues here, but trust me, coming from where I'm coming from, it's different, okay. Anyway, so yeah, those are the things. If you have any other good things you have to say about being here, let us know, okay. All right, let us go quickly to the cons, okay, and I'll try not to dwell too much on this because they're self-explanatory, majority of them, because I have a lot, okay. All right, the first thing I have here is no or minimum support system, because you know people mind their business here, okay. So don't come here assuming that people will care about you. I learned that the hard way the first time I came to the US, because I thought, oh, you know, we are colleagues now. You know the way we do with Nigeria, you're not around, your colleague will cover for you. They don't do that here, okay. Everything is by the books. Nobody is going to cover for you. Nobody is going to borrow you their car to use to drive there. Nobody is going to only if you have, you know, a team of Nigerians here who help each other. But normally over here they don't do things like that. They won't give you their ATM for you to withdraw money from. Sister, they don't do those things here, okay. So and again, if you're coming here without your family, it's crazy, because there is minimum or no support system. You know, it takes time for you to build your support system. The first time I was in the US, I told you guys I almost went into depression because I felt really 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 alone, because the people don't look like you, they don't talk like you, they don't care about you, they don't live their life like that, even within their own family circles, you know. So yeah, have that in mind, right? So it made me really really miss home until I got to a church family, and that's what I would advise, right? If you feel alone, get a church, get a family, get a friend, get a circle of friends. I got mine the first time I came, and I was quick to do that this time around, right? So be open. When people invite you to their home for Thanksgiving dinner, for, you know, Christmas breakfast, please go, because trust me, you need sometimes you just need it for your sanity, you understand, to just be around people, laugh, have good food, enjoy. Sometimes you might not enjoy the good food, their food, but you know, just be around people, enjoy, take a drink or something like that. It will really really help, okay. Anyways, the next thing I have here is racism, right? You always feel different here. You always feel odd, especially if you live in a place that is white dominated. Especially that's where I, you know, school in. It's a white dominated area, okay. And you know, I didn't know this before I came here. When you're looking for schools, you know, I always advise you go for an HBC, like historical black community, I think. Go and research that. Yes, schools, when you go to a white dominated school, it's different, because you hardly, in a day I can count how many black people I see in my school, because we are not a lot. Virginia is a very white community, right? So if you're looking for a place where, you know, you need people, you know, you go to Bowie State, you go to Morgan State, you go to, you know, Washington, George Washington University. Those are schools that you'll find, you know, a number of, at least a healthy number of black people. But when I talk about racism, I remember the first day, my very second day in the US, okay? No, it was a weekend. Yeah, that was like the 4th day in the US. Me and my friend decided to go to an African store, no, not an African store, because we don't have that where I stay, but an international market, so to speak, to get some things. And I remember the first market we went to, you know, I think the first market we went to was not an international market, it was Food Lion. It was just a general grocery store. I went there, and when I was coming with my cart, you know, the cashier saw me, and the first thing she said was like, "Oh my God, I'm sorry, we don't take EBT card here." And I'm like, I know what EBT card is, because I used to work a lot with the homeless people the last time I was in the US, right? So EBT card is like government's card for you to buy food for people who cannot afford it, right? So I was really, I looked at them like, did I tell you I'm coming with EBT card? Why did you assume that I am coming with an EBT card? Like, are you okay? it was, I felt really, really bad. But again, I know them, okay, some of them, right, there's some of them that are just purely racist. They see you and they make assumptions about you that you cannot afford the life you live, that you can, yeah. Anyways, racism is a big thing. So we left that store and we went to another store, which is the international market, or supposed to be an international market, and asked me why the white cashier did the same thing. It was like film trick. The same thing happened here. We left that store, came to the store, and the same thing happened. I had to ask my friend, like, is there something in me that is showing them that I cannot afford to buy the food I want to eat, right? So, and that's just one instance. There's been different instances where people just look down on you or talk down to you because you have a different skin color, right? So that's something you need to be prepared for when coming to the US. The first time I came here, I was not prepared for it, and I faced it. I faced it in so many places, and it's a different thing when you're black. It's also a different kind of racism when you are from a third world country, because they will always see you as being less, and you have to constantly have to prove yourself. Okay, so yeah, sometimes you attend classes. Well, I have never had that experience, but I've had people who tell me, like, they have some lecturers that they don't like, certain races, people from China, people from, trust me, just get your mind prepared so that, when those things happen, it doesn't really shock me anymore. I just detested what happened on that particular day. That's why I gave those examples. There's been several others, but today is not the day for that, okay? Sometimes anyways, let's move on. Anyways, the next thing is insecurity. Yes, yeah, everywhere, because mental issue is a big deal here. Insecurity, I know, and I know this, what people will come, oh, insecurity in Nigeria too, you don't, kidnapping and stuff like that. And yes, I'm not saying that, stay back in Nigeria. That's not the essence of this video. I'm just telling you what you need to know before you make the decision to relocate here. Insecurity, if insecurity is what is chasing you from Nigeria, there is insecurity here. And the problem with insecurity here, in Nigeria, you know that, okay, there are certain times of day that you cannot go out, there are certain places that you should not go to and stuff like that, even though I'm sure that, there are also other cases where, even when you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be, things still happen. But over here, it's crazy because you don't know who you're living with. You don't know who you are walking on the streets with. Many people have mental issues here. It's a big thing. And I know that we have mental issues in Nigeria, but trust me, when we see a mad person in Nigeria, we know they are mad. In the US, there are a lot of well-dressed people that are mad. Okay, and the problem is in Nigeria, we don't have an outlet. Our outlet is Twitter. Our outlet is to insult and rain insults and maybe throw punches. Here, their outlet is guns. Okay, the other day, it's been more since I came here. I only came in August. I've had more than 5 emergency whatever on my phone. So they have like Amber Alerts, they'll tell you, stuff like that. And my school has an alert system when there's a shooting around, like an active shooter. I just woke up. I remember the first day I woke up, the first thing I saw on my phone was take cover, move away from the window, enter into a closet, lock yourself up in the bathroom. What was going on? Gone. Because the video, the message came in around 2 a.m. and I usually put my phone in do not disturb when I'm sleeping, because people from Nigeria tend to call because they think when they're in mourning, everybody in the world is in mourning. Anyways, so I woke up later and it has already been resolved. Apparently there was an active shooter in my street. Okay, the other day people went to a university that is just not far away from my University of Virginia, killed some people. The other day was Walmart, also in Virginia. Some people were killed. It happens everywhere, okay? Sometimes your roommate, you don't know if they have a gun in their house. Something can just pack in their head, and the next thing you understand. So insecurity is a big deal here, and the government is, because this is such a capitalist country, they are more focused on making profits than keeping the people safe. Okay, so the government is not going to take guns away. They literally do sales to buy guns, sales buy one get one free to get a gun. So yeah, you can just annoy somebody and they put gun, road rage, right? Somebody caught you, overtake you, and the next thing you take your gun and you kill the person because they know that their system will protect them, right? So yeah, that is a big deal here. So if you're coming to raise a family here, you're coming, you need to be careful. Every time I go out, I cover myself with the blood of Jesus. I tell God, where I will go and will not come, may I never go there. Where may I not enter a vehicle with a mad person. May I not walk where a mad person is walking today. Order my steps, direct my path. I always pray every time I leave my house that, I'm going out to God. Let me come back home. You understand that? So Yeah, but here and again, there are insecurities everywhere, so you pick your poison, I guess. Anyways, the next thing that I have here is the system is not set up to make you to succeed here. It takes the grace of God and favor. Yes, especially if you're a student, okay? There are a lot of things that, you know, sometimes when you're desperate to leave Nigeria, you don't think about, right? There's a reason why people go to UK and not the US. First of all, it's hard getting into the US. Secondly, it is hard being a student in the US because, especially if you're not one to do underground works, which I am not, okay? There are people who are good at it, you know, they do things they are not supposed to do just to be able to make ends meet. But when you come to the US, it is, the standard of living is high, okay? When I was in New York, it was worse because I was paying in a shared apartment. So that's an apartment where they give you a bedroom in that apartment. I was paying $1,000 a month, okay? Here it's a bit lower, okay, because it depends on when you're staying. Where I stay, I pay about half of that, right, in a month in the same scenario, right? So it is high, so you need to make sure you're earning enough to be able to make up with that, pay your bills, and also, you know, live life, okay, and send money home and save and stuff like that. It is really, really extremely difficult, and the system in the US makes it so difficult for you as a foreigner because, for instance, as a student, you're not allowed to work more than 20 hours a week, and if you already have an assistantship, which is you're working for the school, that is all the work you get, okay? And maybe they pay you for, you know, someone like me, they pay me just below $1,000, okay? And then I'm paying this for rent, you know, I'm paying this for bills, I'm paying this for transportation, I'm paying this for, you know, for healthcare. Well, healthcare, have insurance, you know, things will come up, okay? It's not enough. Now imagine you have a dependent, you have your husband here, or you have a child that is coming or that is staying with you. My sister, your dependents are not allowed to work in the US. So yeah. All right, the earlier you know this, the better for you, okay? Because there are a lot of things that I was ignorant about when I came here. I knew majority of them, but there are just a few that I didn't think that this should matter, but they actually do matter, okay? So yeah, okay, yeah, let's move on. Yeah, because if you're not, it would affect your record and, you know, stuff like that. And if you're a person who likes to play by the rules, it's going to be a big deal for you, and you have to, you know, really think about it. Is this really worth it, or are there other countries that I can actually go? If you go to Canada, you can, you know, Canada has even increased the amount of times you can work, you know, your dependents can work and stuff like that. The US does not allow your dependents to work. They do not allow you to work more than 20 hours, and then they tell you when you're on break you can work over 20 hours, but they don't tell you that it's coming out of your OPT or your CPT, rather. That is the numbers of, you know, normally after school you're given a year to be able to get internship or something. Yeah, they don't there are a lot of things that you need to make sure you research, okay? Also, they don't tell you that as an international student, unless you get a job that is directly related to your course of study, you cannot work outside school during your break, or else you work within the school. So there's a lot. The system is not set up to make you as an international student or as a foreigner to succeed here, okay? So you need to make sure you evaluate your choices before you decide that this is where you want to come and settle down, okay? Anyways, all right, so the next thing that I'll talk about here is you work for everything because there are bills everywhere. You work for everything. Nobody's going to give you anything on the platter. You work for your money. It's not like Nigeria that uncle will dash you this, or somebody will just it takes the favor of God. It happens, but it takes God's favor. But just know that you don't come here and be lazy. You come here to work, okay? All right, the next thing that I have here is you start to get used to living on credits. Yes, the system in the US is a credit system, okay? This is the country that you have money to afford what you can live. Not to say that it doesn't work. There are ways you can work it, but even if you can afford to buy your house or buy your car or do whatever, they prefer that you buy it on credits so that you can build your credit score. So you buy it on credits and you pay it off, okay? But the problem with that is, you know, sometimes when you have a credit card, you think you have money, you start to spend things, you start to see things that normally if you didn't have money you won't see, because money has a way of bringing things to your eyes. And before you know what is happening, you are in debt, okay? So you need to be careful when, you know, taking credit card, because the system encourages you to be in debt, okay? So, and whilst it works for them as US citizens, because they can go their entire life, you know, you know, you can be paying $30 every month to be able to, you know, make the minimum payment. But as an international living here, you cannot afford to live that life because your time, number one, is limited, right? So you cannot be in debt. Okay, you cannot be in debt. So make sure that whatever you do, you need to be careful and be prudent in your spending. But it is very, very easy for you to get used to living on credit. Okay, so yeah. Anyways, and for you people who, anyways, I don't want to talk about that. All right, so saving to go back home. There are a lot of people always say that, oh, I'm just here to make money and save and go back home. It's very difficult. I know a lot of people that have been saving to go back home since 15 years that they came to the US. They've not been able to save enough to buy a plane ticket, because the more you live, the more you spend. The more you live here, the more you spend, the more the bill. So you have to be prudent in saving. You have to be prudent, you know, to be able to, you know, save here, because things, they occur. Okay, things, they occur, right? The next thing I have here is things are expensive. Yeah, you have to DIY everything. Since I came here, I've painted, I have fixed chairs, I have, you know, fixed a bed, of course, with me and my sister I live with here. We have, what else have we done? We've done so much projects. So, you know, we've done so, because it's a new house, we've done so much projects here, because it is cheaper for you to do things yourself than to hire people to do it. It's not like Nigeria where, oh, you bought a fan, you want to fix common fan, you go and call Emeka from the next shop to come and fix it. You give him 500 or 1,000 or 2,000 naira for fixing it for you. It's not the same here. Over here, you have to learn DIY. You do it yourself, okay? And the system is set up in such a way that you can't do it yourself. I have certain videos, I've not vlogs of things that I bought and I had to fix myself. You know, as you're buying it, it's coming with the tools, it's coming with the screws, it's coming with stuff like that you can use to put them together. You learn how to do things yourself. You learn how to make your hair yourself, because if you want to ask someone to make your hair for you, it is very, very expensive, okay? So you learn to do a lot of things by yourself, because everything here is expensive. Doing your hair is expensive. Food is expensive, okay? Now, especially now, food is very, very expensive. Getting people to fix things in your house is expensive, okay? So unless you get an undocumented person who is not charging much, because even they know, because they are paying bills, right? So you learn to do a lot of things by yourself, because things are very, very expensive, okay? Your Christian walk becomes challenging, because especially if you're coming from a conservative environment or background like me, right, where we see certain things as wrong, but over here there's a reason why they call US the land of the free. This is not a place you come and say, hey, you're going to hell for doing this. Hey, you will they will put you in jail and lock you up and forget the key. There are things that, you know, if you're not grounded in the spirit, if you're not grounded in the word, if you're not grounded in your identity of who you are, it is easy to be distracted, because most of the people here don't carry God the way we carry God, okay? The values are different. They don't see certain things as sin. Sex is such a, is your body, your body, your rights, and what they call it, your body, your choice. There are a lot of things that, you know, has become normal. And even if you come to the US with a certain mindset of, oh, you're a Christian, you're covered and stuff, there's an essence in which something that is normal, before you know what is happening, you start to assimilate into that practice if you don't guard your heart. The Bible says that guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it are the issues of life. Because I've been in class where we have certain debates about certain things that I don't believe in, but because this is my course, this is my class, and this is a different environment, you cannot. It's either you keep quiet, or you're diplomatic in your answers, because there are certain things that you cannot just come and say that, oh, I don't believe in. You will be persecuted for it, okay? Yeah, so your Christian walk, you might struggle with it if you don't get a good, and that's why I always say, all this doing church from home, when you come here, it doesn't really work. You need to have a community, a Christian community that actually believes what you believe in, that can help you and hold your hands, and, you know, you can share your struggles with and your challenges with, right? Because the US will test your Christianity. It will really, really test your love of God. If you are just loving him because you are in Nigeria, if you are just obeying God because the system in Nigeria allows you to, when you are in a place like this, it will test your love, it will test your commitment to God, it will test your Christianity, it will test your Christian faith, right? Yeah, it is hard to be a Christian in the US. It is really, really hard. because this is not a place where, in Nigeria, even people that don't really like God, they still, go outside. They don't come and say it out. They don't come and, they cut corners. But here they say it to your face. They try to convince you why your faith is wrong and stuff like that. And honestly, it will test your faith. Okay. And then the last thing I will say here is the system is fair with opportunities. There are opportunities here, but not for black people. And I think I already mentioned that it's a different thing if you're black here, and it's a different thing if you're an African here. So because as a black person, there are certain opportunities that they just don't think about you for. As an African, not only does the white person see you as a black person, the black American sees you as a foreigner. So you have to face two-time battles, right? But overall, this is my advice: go where you're led. Don't go because everyone is going. Don't move because people are moving. And the challenges, I said, there are people who are still thriving here, like big time. Okay, I know people here who have bought houses. I know people here who have established in their career. When God leads you somewhere, stay there. Okay, don't go because people are going, because people also, the same people. I know someone who's been here for just 5 years, already has a house, as is settled, job, green card is already there, stuff like that, without having to struggle. Of course, they went through their own phases of life. Okay, however, God worked things out, because listen, go where you are planted. When God plants you somewhere, He establishes you, He roots you there, and He makes things work for you. Okay, and if you're you feel like God led you here and things are not working out the way you want it to be, just trust that God has something in plan for you, and remind Him of His word. Remind God daily, you brought me here. What is your plan? What is your purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? What do I need to focus? And sometimes God will bring you to a place to redirect you somewhere else. So don't be so stuck on, God, you brought me here, so I must prosper here. Ask God, what is your plan? Why did you bring me here? What do you need me to do? What do you want from me? And how do we move from here? And I pray that God will help us in Jesus' name. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you've had an experience, let me know in the comment section below. If this video has been of any help to you, let me also know in the comment section below. Until we meet again, I am still your favorite girl, Victoria Ayodele. Remember to watch the Truth and Tales podcast channel, guys. I promise you, you will not regret it. This particular topic, you'll know so much about me, that I have never shared with anybody, literally never shared with anybody ever. I didn't even know I was going to share it, and I did that. I shared a lot there, and you guys need to go and watch the Truth and Tales podcast. I'll leave the link in the description box below. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Until we meet again, have an amazing week. Okay, bye guys.